Okay, let's take a look at 10.3, evaluating expression. So evaluate is like the word value. We're going to try and find how much each expression is worth in terms of a number value. In terms of goals for today, we want to be able to model an expression. So using either pictures, our cups and our counters, or using letters and numbers like 3x plus 4 to model an expression. And then the second thing is to evaluate an expression. So that once again means to find a number value. And then lastly, to make a table of values. So an XY table to find the worth of Y at different values of X. So just a reminder, when we're talking about expressions, anytime we have a variable, so that's a letter like X, Y, Z, any letter, we're going to use a cup to represent that. So if you imagine the cup has these counters inside, but we don't know how many. So it's a cup because we can't see inside. If we have a constant, so that's a number, like for example, the number 1, that would be my counter. So this first one, there's 2 cups and 3 counters. So this could be something like 2 cups plus 3. So 2C plus 3, I could use any letter. So the next one might be something like 3x plus 2. So this tells me there's 3 of the exact same cups I don't know the value of, and 2 that I can see, so I know this is exactly worth 2. Now if I want to model it, so going the other way, if I have this expression right here, 2y plus 4, once again that's 2 cups, and I'm adding 4 counters. Okay, so that's A. For B, it says determine the value, so now I'm evaluating the expression when y equals to 1. So let's redraw it. So I would have 2 cups plus 4 counters. But if y equals to 1, remember y equals to 1, y is a cup and 1 is a constant because I can see that number. A constant is a counter. So now this would be saying each cup has exactly 1 counter inside. So now that I can see how many counters are inside, I can tell that the total is 6. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What about if y was equal to 3? So same beginning, I have 2 cups plus 4 counters. So that's my 2y plus 4. And inside each cup is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So now I can see this is 3 plus 3 plus 4. So that gives me a total of 10. What if we want to substitute with just numbers? For example, the second one, let's take a look at when y is equal to 3. My expression was 2y plus 4. So if I want to evaluate, I can also use substitution. And so substitution means I'm going to replace any letters with the value number. So y equals to 3, I see that would be 2 and then bracket 3. So I'm just replacing that y with 3 because I know y is equal to 3. Anytime I substitute in, I'm going to put in brackets and I'm going to go plus 4. So everything else I just copied down. That 2 and that 4 I just copied down. I see 2 things that are happening. So I could either go 2 touching the 3 or I could do the 3 plus 4. So this actually comes back to BEDMAS. So if you remember BEDMAS, we're going to go from the order of brackets. Exponents we don't really use that much in grade 7. Division, multiplication, addition, or subtraction. Keep in mind these 2 happen at the same time and these 2 happen at the same time. So if 2 numbers are touching, they're actually multiplying. So this is the same thing as 2 times 3. And I can see multiplication happens before addition. So I'm going to start here. So 2 times 3 is 6 plus 4. And then one last step, 6 plus 4 is 10. So that actually gave me the same answer. Let's try it with some other numbers. So once again, 12 minus 3g when g equals to 2. I'm going to copy down everything except for that letter. And when I get to the g, I'm going to put in brackets and just replace it. Since I know that g equals to 2, I'm going to plop that 2 in here. And once again, thinking about my BEDMAS. So brackets, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. I can see I have 2 things here. I have subtraction and I have multiplication. So I'm going to start with multiplication, which is on the right side this time. So 3 times 2 gives me 6. And I'm going to copy down everything I didn't use. So over here, I'm going to copy down this minus sign and this 12. Keep in mind I didn't switch any orders. Since the 12 minus was on the left, I also have to copy it down to the left of that 6. Last step, 12 minus 6 is 6. So final answer is 6. Let's try this other one. So 5r plus 7. 5, I'm going to replace the r with a 0 plus 7. And then this time I have multiplication and adding. So multiplication is still going to come first if I go BEDMAS top down. And so 5 times 0 is 0. Copy down that plus 7. And then final answer, 7. Last thing is with a table of values. So for something like this, it says that I have an expression of 2n plus 1. So every time I take the figure number, so for example, figure number is 1, if I go 2 times the figure number plus 1, so I double it plus 1, that gives me the number of squares. So A, what does that represent? It's the relationship between figure number and squares. Okay, second thing that they want you to do is fill in this table of values. And it says use whole numbers from 1 to 6 for n. So over here I filled in n. So 1 to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I need to fill in this side. So to find the number of squares, 2n plus 1, I'm just going to fill it in. So 2 times 1 plus 1, that's going to be 2 plus 1, 3. Second one, 2, and then now I'm going to fill in this 2 over here. So 2 times 2 plus 1, now that gives me 5. Third one, 2 times, this time 3 plus 1 gives me 7. At this point, I can actually see the pattern. So 3 plus 2 is 5. Another plus 2 is 7. So I could actually just keep adding 2 each time. It seems pretty solid at this point. I can figure out what the pattern is. So 7 plus 2 is 9, 11, 13. Lastly, for C, how many squares are in figure 30 of this pattern? I would just fill in 2n plus 1, but now I know that n equals to 30. So same thing, 2 bracket 30 plus 1. I have multiplication and adding, so I'm going to do my multiplication first. So 2 times 30 gives me 60 plus 1. Final answer, 61. So in figure 30, there would be 61 squares. Hopefully that helped to get into how to evaluate some expressions, fill in a table of values, and model them as well. If you have any questions, just give me a shout. Good luck.